right, so we are going to continue to camera now, and there are some important things that I need to let you know about camera composition and all that. But let's just open our file first and just drop camera at least for now. So I press T on my keyboard, so it will go to the top view. If I press P, it's going to actually be perspective. If I press F, it's going to go to front. You can see. So I press Z to actually zoom it. So let's go to the top again. Based on the file that based on the project that we're working on, we'll see that the Euro shot is actually, from the front, just like that. So let's try and recreate such camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come to either this toolbar here or come to this command panel here. So let's come to the command panel and choose camera. So I choose camera, and you see that we have Corona camera here. So you choose it and basically just go to the top view, place the camera and target where you want it to face. It's as simple as that. When you finish creating it, you right click and end the command. So now that we have created it, we can come to this viewport and press C on our keyboard. Then it's going to bring us to where the camera is. So it's going to bring us to the camera view, and everything is looking somehow. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to select the camera, and we are going to select the move tool, and we'll set the camera height. Now, normally somebody is holding the camera, the person does not show in the picture, but is holding the camera, and because he's holding the camera, it has a height. So Autodesk want to update, not now. So it has a height, and we are going to set the height. So for the height, I'm going to set 1000. I'm going to come to this place here, and I'm going to spend on the Z axis. I'm going to set 1500 millimeters. So that's like 5 feet, above the ground level. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select the camera and select the camera target, and I'm going to give it 1500 too. So let's see the way it looks. It's looking nice coming up, but yet quite a number of things to actually work on. So, but before I work on it, if you look at this top view, you will see that the camera and the camera target, they are not on the same straight line. So we want to actually align both to actually be on a straight line. So what we're going to do is we'll come to this tab here, the toolbar here rather, and you see align to, select it. So you have selected the object you want to align, then you select the object you want it to align to. So if I choose that, and now it wants to align, and it does not know which axis you want. So if I disable the X axis, you can see it is now aligned to Y and Z. So I don't want that. I want X and maybe Z axis. So you can see if I change anything here, nothing changes. So because they are already aligned vertically. So now that's cool. This is nice. I'm okay with this. Another thing I'm going to do is to centralize the shot. So I'll move just like this. I think I'm okay with that. So, but yet we are still far away from what we can achieve. So I'm going to select the camera target again and move it up, because I want to see the entire building. Now, one thing is happening, and you are already seeing it. The building is slanting. It's not, looking straight vertically. So what can we do to that? Very, very simple. We'll need to select the camera, come to the modify tab here. So what's the work of the modify tab? The work is it will show you the properties of the element you select. If I select this hardscape now, which is actually the interlock floor, you can see it's showing me there's not much on it, but on the camera you can see there is a lot of things that can be changed. For now, I just want to scroll down until I see tilt shift. So under the tilt shift, I'm going to enable automatic vertical tilt, and you can see now automatically it becomes straight. So another thing I'm going to do on the camera is if we look at this, we have enough space at these sides, so I think I want that. So I'm going to scroll up until I see field of view. I don't like to use field of view, I like to use focal length. So for the focal length, I'm going to change it to 30. So 30 seems to be too much anyway, so let's put 35. I think I'm okay with 35 mm, length. So the lower the value is, the more you see, the whole environment. So I prefer to put it on maybe 35. 35 is okay. So another thing I'm going to do is, I feel like I should, let me select the target and move it a little bit like this. I'm just finding a balance. So something like this. Now it doesn't have to necessarily be the complete just the way this one is and all that. I'm just trying as much as possible to play around and see what I can bring out of this. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. So I think maybe I should put 37, and I think this is cool. I think I'm okay with this. So we have set the camera. I'm going to be explaining some things about cameras, in some minutes, so that you are going to understand a lot about cameras. Now, I set this because we already have an image that we think is okay, that we are following. What if we don't have? What if you want to start from the scratch? So I'm going to explain some things about that very soon. So that's for the camera. Then in the next, I want to quickly pause the video now. So I'm going to find the images I want to use to explain some things about the camera. Then I'll get back. So I explained some things about the camera the other time, but I feel I should explain it more. So we have two types of camera. Let's just say two, camera lenses now. So when you take a camera and you snap a picture, a lot of things happen, within that camera to take that picture. And one of the most important things on the camera is what is called lens. So a lens is actually like the eye of the camera. So it has a lot of things in front of it that can be opened, that can actually be closed, etc. So let me just find you an image of a lens. I have all these images that I used to explain. So this is a lens. So you will see that it is attached to the front of the camera, and it has this wheel that is around it that can be turned to some settings. So I still want to see if I have another image of that. No, it's only this. Yeah. So, and you will notice that it has this covering, and it has those blades in front of it. Those are the things that make up a camera lens. So this lens is what is used to do a lot of things in in your image. And one of the major work is to set the angle at which you snap. So if you stay, let's say as a photographer, this man is a photographer, he stayed at a point and he pointed the camera to an object. So that object is this building. So now from the position he is to where the object is, there's a distance. Now the camera lens is going to calculate the distance based on this, your settings on the scroll wheel, and take a picture. So the length at which it took that picture is what we call focal length. So the length of the focus. So it has a focus on it, on the lens, and the length at which the focus took the picture is what we call the focal length. Now, there are two types of camera lenses majorly. So there's a range, but everything is in between these two types. You have the wide angle lens and you have the telephoto lens. Every other thing is in between them. So the wide angle lens is the lens that can take picture at a very, very wide angle. So now look at it. This is telephoto lens. Telephoto lens can stay at a very long distance, and yet it can take picture and show us the details of that picture at a very far distance. So, and that is what we have here. If you notice, we have 400 mm focal length. So if you look, there is another one that shows much more than this. So this one is zooming into the object, and this one is like zooming out a little bit. So you will see 200 mm focal length. Then we have here 125 mm. You can see it's showing much more, and we have another one 55 mm. You can see now, with it we can see even more, the whole landscape. And we have 35 mm, which is even showing us much more than what 55 is showing us. Then of course we have 18 and we have 11 that is actually showing us a lot. So the same thing here. And now the problem in the photography world is that you are going to need to buy each of those lenses. So they are very, very expensive. That's why you see some some photographers saying that, oh, lens is actually the major thing. Do you get? So it happens that way, but for us, we don't need to actually buy any lens. You just select your camera and you will see the setting under photographic parameter. You see the focal length, and you can change it the way you like. So I'm going to put it on 20 here. You can see 11. You can see how wide it's taking everything. So one of the problems with this is that the object in focus, which is actually the building in this case, is going to, because we are using a wide angle lens now, which is actually like 11, so it's going to diminish that building, because it's in the focus, and you can see everything here is big. That structure is not big. So there are some situations that you can use wide angle, and there are some situations that you must use averagely 35 to 50 mm is what is actually mostly used. 35-50 is what people use mostly. And I just said I should explain that to you with the camera. There are some other things that I can explain, but not now. Let's just be taking them one after the other. So that's for the camera, and I'm going to, I think 35 mm is okay, but I'm thinking that I should reduce the height of the camera. Yeah, so you can see now some things are coming. I'm trying to see. Okay, that alignment over there, you can see it's a little. So I'm just trying, because I can't remember what I used on that. So let's see if 45, 50 will not work. So I've gone too far to the back. Maybe I should just So you get, I can just play with it. I can just play with it anyway. I don't have to do exactly what I did. I'm just looking at this. It's supposed to be a little bit higher. So maybe I used, just let's leave it like this. We don't have to stress. So the next thing to do, because of time, is to actually now begin to add all the elements, the cars, and every other thing. But before we do that, I'll introduce you to what is called layer. So you can see here we have the layer, so you can toggle it on. And under the layer, we have the 4-bedroom duplex that we imported. So if I off it, you can see the eye, I can off it and on it. And you'll see that we have this cyan color. It shows that this is the layer that is active. So anything I'm creating will be created under this layer. And we can expand that layer, and you can see that we have the corona camera and the target in the layer. So I can create a new layer for my camera, and I will come to selection filter here, and I will choose camera so that I can select the whole the camera and its target rather once, and create new material. Sorry, create new layer. Let me undo and show you again. I can stretch this so that you see all the tools here. So I can go to plus sign and choose create new layer. So because I selected this and created the new layer, it automatically puts everything that I selected inside that layer. I can right click on the layer. Sorry, I can right click on the layer and rename it and name it cameras. So anytime I want to create camera, I'll create it in this new layer. So I can create a new layer and name it maybe plants. And for that, I'm going to quickly create some. So I can create some layers inside that layer too. So now that I've created the plant, I'll select it and create new layer inside it. I'll call it grass. So now I have a layer inside another layer. So for this grass, I'm going to open the Cosmos browser again. So now I will go to 3D models and you see presets. So what is that preset? I'm going to show you now. So the preset have some things that are presets, like the plant, the grass, and the trees, etc. So I want to use grass. So let me choose. I think I'll use this. And all I need to do is drag it and drop it on the surface that I want to use it. Then we have the grass. One of the things that, okay, the grass is not actually being applied to the object I want to apply it to, and I'll tell you why it did not apply. It's because I set the selection filter to camera. So anything I want to do, it will be on the camera, and the camera cannot hold the grass. So I'm going to delete it and set the selection filter to all. Now I can select this easily and go back to the Cosmos and drag it and put it on that surface. So it will automatically create the grass on the surface. You can see. Now, one thing about this is that if care is not taken, you are going to actually experience some serious lagging on your computer. So to undo that, the first thing we are going to do is to select the grass and come to the modify tab here, and you can see it's grass lawn, and it's distributing on the grass floor, and these are all the things that are being distributed. So we don't need that. So the second thing is the scattering. So is scattering on the 2D surface, so we don't really need anything. But surface scattering, we can come to this place and you will see it has 400 per square meters. You can disable the square meters and it will remain 400. Now I will enable the square meters again and just put it like 100 per square meter. So it's already lagging if you notice. So 100 per square meter is not bad. So we can reduce it, we can increase it, but I put it that way for now. Then we have camera clipping. This is very, very important. You can see this is where our camera is, and everything that is seen is just like this. It's not seeing anything here, it's not seeing anything here and at the back. So what camera clipping will do is it will only render what we are seeing, and with that it will reduce the memory that will be used. So I'll enable the camera clipping and choose active camera. So you can see now that even though I applied grass to all the surfaces, it's only showing for the camera. So it will only show for the camera. So that's what that does. And again, I'm going to select it, and if I render it now, this, well, let me just leave it for now. So I can hide the layer when I finish working. So because I still want to come back here and do some editing to that grass, but I want to leave it to when we are rendering so that you are going to see the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. So another thing we are going to do is to work on all these shrubs like this, and unfortunately I've lost this particular type of material, so we are just going to work with everything inside Cosmos. We don't want to go out and be looking for plants. So I'm going to click and right click again and name it shrubs. So, or rename it as edges. So now for the edges, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly draw lines. So when you pick line like that, just click the point to start, and do that. So when I get here, I click on it and I drag. So I hold my mouse to drag. That's why I'm having this bend like this. So that one is straight. I came here straight and I hold on it to drag it and go like this. Press shift, go like this. I use shift to make sure that the lines are straight. So still going. So till I come here, get here, drag it again, then go straight to here. I think I'm okay with that. So I'm going to do the same thing around here. So that's it, and here I can do the same thing here. These ones are straight, so I can just come here, press shift, sure you get now. So we can do the same thing here, and having done that, I can select all the lines, isolate them. So I have all these the type of shrub I'm going to use here is different. So I'm going to press Alt and deselect it, then isolate again. So now I can come here, I see this laurel edges, and I think I like it. So since I want that, let's just drag it and drop it. So it will automatically create them on the lines like this, and that's one of the beauty of it. I really like that. Now I've started, you know, changing the way I did things, because this place does not have edges here, but I've put edges there now, you can see here. So but it doesn't matter. What matter is that we are working, and it's already showing that the edges are actually high, very high, but let's just leave them. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do something. So sometimes you don't find everything you need. You know, if you are putting plants every time in your project and it's only what is available here that you are putting, then it's going to become boring at a point. People know your work and all that. So of course there are some plants that you will like. So I have my own material library, and they are very much, actually very much different kind of, you know, components. So they have been gathered for a very long time, a very long time. So now I'm going to just check. I'm using an application that is quite similar to this, but I set everything myself. I set everything, unlike for this that have already been preset. I set all this by myself. That's why there is no preview on some, because I'm still setting them. But I'm going to vegetation and plants. So let's come first for arc model 85. So if I choose preview, you can see I have this, and there's even a purple tree. So but I'm looking for this particular, I want to bring this one in first. So okay, how can you get to do connector? I'm going to be making a separate video about that to be posted on the YouTube. The reason is that, you know, I've set this up and it will take me to uninstall it, you know, clear every settings on it, and, you know, start afresh, which it cannot go with this particular video. So now this is the plant that was used here, you can see. So I want to bring it in. So all I need to do is to do drag and drop. This is 43. So now it is a V-Ray material, but no V-Ray component, no problem. I'm going to drag it and drop it. I made a mistake here, merge, and you can see. So I'm going to just place it here. I can scale it up and down. So the same way, I'm going to look for shrubs, shrub and edges. So I have some guys here, but I'm just being careful the one I use. I would have preferred to see the one that have that kind of red, but let me drag this. Now this one is going to take time to load because it is heavier than this. So I'm going to pause the video and come back when it is done. Alright, so it comes and I think it's going to be useful. So let's leave it here. Now what I want to do is I want to create so this icon is for the scatter, so I can select scatter, put it like this. Now, you know, I want to create it myself now, not the preset. So I'll select that scatter, come to modify tab and click on objects and click the target object, which is this, and click the instances. So I can put all of this, the 5 of them. I can put them, you can see them the way they look now. And I can scroll down and come to scattering and change it to spline, 1D spline, you can see. And for the 1D spline, there are many other things I can change here, but they are not needed for now. So what I can do then is under 1D spline, I can set the distance. So I'm setting it to like 600. It is tall. So what I'm going to do first before I do anything is I'll take this one out of the frame and continue to work on it. So 600. I think for the transformation, everything is okay except the height. So I can scroll down to scale and scale it down from 100 to 100 to maybe 30 to 35. You can see now. So it makes a lot of sense. It is randomized, with that scale, and we can still come back to it and edit it. So I can hand isolate now, and you can see the way things look. It's looking good, and I'm going to import some other objects. So let me still, for now, off these two and create a new layer and name it cars. So okay, these are the stuff that I imported. All these ones, they are inside. You can see that they are each one of them, they are not all together. So I can actually, I'll come back to that. I don't want to stress you too much about all that right now. So I can go back and get vehicles, and we have a lot of vehicles here, about 118 vehicles, different ones. So I'm going to drag this and just drop it. I don't want to spend too much time. And you can see the way it looks. It looks like a box, a wire box. What you can do is you can come down and see the method here. When you select that object, it's a proxy, and you can change it to full mesh. So it's going to show as object. Remember, I said it can be wire box. The reason it can be solid box, it can be wire box, it can be a point cloud. And the reason it's like that is because they are trying to maximize the memory of your computer, so that you will not, because these objects are high resolution objects, so you don't want it to be, your computer to be lagging, especially your graphics card first. So now right here, you want to rotate, and you are going to press either E on your keyboard or you click the rotate tool here. So I pressed E on the keyboard and I can rotate, and you can see as I'm rotating, I'm seeing some figures around here is the degrees at which I'm rotating. And you want a perfect degree, you press A, which is this angle snap. When you do that, you will have 5-degree increments as we rotate, and you can get a perfect 90-degree. In real life, you don't really park on that straight line like that. It's not totally perfect, so I can actually do something like this, and I'm okay. So maybe I should just show the back of the car. So I can bring another one. Let's say this. The same thing, I'm going to change it to full mesh, rotate it to, and try. So I have a way I try to put my cars when I'm walking. because this one is big, so it shouldn't be in front. It should just be like at the back like that. So but it's too big. Let me find another one. It's kind of blocking that, trying to destroy the frame. Let me just choose this. It's not compulsory that we put a lot of cars, so and let's just have it there. I mean, okay, so I need about 2 cars more for this place, and what I'm going to do is find a car like this. So again, change it to, and what I like about this is it's automatically detecting the slope, and when you place it, it follows that slope. So that is very, very good. I'm going to actually rotate it. Now rotating it means that it's not following it again. You can see it's not following the slope again. And what can I do to make it follow the slope again is I choose this icon, which is select and place, and it will automatically place it. You can see, but I don't really need that. I just want to place it like this. And the next one, so let me use this. Even though I need to be careful of the color of the car that I'm using, I don't want the focus to be shifted from the building so to the car. Oh, which car is this? Oh, this car is problematic. The scale is big, very, very big, even though I can change the scale, but let's just find another car to use. A lovely car to use. So if you can't find, maybe I should change to SUV so that it's only SUV that will be shown, and I can use this for example. So these are the cars that I use in most of my work, and you can see them at the desktop background. So this car that I imported now is this. This one too is part of it. So it's the rendering that matters, not the object itself. Of course, the object quality matters, but in some cases, you just need to know how to handle it. So I'm just going to rotate it. Yeah, so everything is coming up, gradually, and I think we are getting good by it. So just to show that, oh, it's 2 cars. Sometimes you don't need to show everything. You just need to actually, give a hint of what is going on there. Now, if you notice here, I put a curtain. So how do we do that? So let me just close this. It is confusing me. So I can actually come and search for curtain. So there are cutting materials and there are cutting objects themselves. So I'm going to just bring the cutting object and move it towards now I'm going to press F3 to see it very well, and I'm going to scale it. So I'm scaling it high enough, and I'm going to just adjust it accordingly, and that's what we have there. The challenge, you can see here, it is entering the veranda. So what I did was delete that. I chose just a single one, then move it, scale it up. Okay, so I can just adjust it accordingly, and when I'm through, I can copy it and adjust it. Rotate it and bring it down a little bit, then move it up, then scale it down a little. That's it. So you've got that done. And what else? We need to change the door. So I'll hide this door. In Cosmos there are doors, so I'm going to choose door. So even though I didn't use any of these doors, but at least we can find a door, a nice door like this. Let me see the door I used there. Okay, the door that I downloaded. But let's use this. So you see, because I dragged that door down, you can see what the thing is. Okay. So I'm going to scale it. I'm going to scale it up like this. It is good. The way I'm doing it, I just want to quickly do it. So there are better ways to undo it by using FFD modifier, but I just don't want to stress you too much about all this. So you can see now it's too big. So FFD modifier would have been the best option here, but don't worry. So if it's not looking good, eventually, so we might change it. So I'll mirror it. Click on the mirror. Yeah. So all like this. Excuse me. What am I doing? Let me just leave it like this. I thought something happened over there, but it's just the graphics. So I'm going to populate every other area. This is just the workflow, but before I do that, let me select this. I want to combine everything in these trees to just one object. So what I'm going to do is select editable poly, then I can see attach list and attach all of them once. So now it's now a single element. So the what's it called, gizmo is at the base like this. So what I'm going to do with that is I will go to hierarchy pivot, affect pivot only, and move it, to that base. Okay, that's where I want it to be, so I can scale it up now. And that's how I was able to achieve this. So when you are scaling it, you need to know how far you want to go, not how far you can go, but how far you want to go. So just playing around until I think I find what I want. So that's that. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. So every other thing I'm going to add, there's a tree here, this tree, all these elements, all these lighting elements. Of course, I'm going to add them later. So that's just it for this part, and I'm going to be closing it now. It's 45 minutes. Thank you.